No,
shaken, not
Pete, our photographer, also brought his own vodka for us to taste.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll do some Iceberg here too. Which is an interesting. I mean, I don't want to diss anyone, but I'll bring up the topic of the four things that make great vodka.
Sure.
I already talked about the mash, like what you make it out of. I talked about distillation, 4 times distilled being optimal. If you go past 5, 6 times distilled, it's kind of a gimmick. Now 4 times is perfect. 2 times is Scotch. They never distill it more than 2 times because every time you distill something, you give up flavor, you give up character. So Scotch is never more than 2 times distilled. We stopped at 4 times because you're not getting much more smoothness out of it at that point, but you're giving up a ton of character. So that's a key thing, is like not giving up all the character on it. The other thing is water. 60% of vodka is water. So you'll hear lots of gimmicks about, oh, it comes from a glacier or this or that.
Like Reka, the volcanic rock water.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately what it comes down to is that's kind of bullshit, if I can say it.
Yeah,
it's a gimmick.
It's the internet, you can...
Can't swear. He's swearing on the show. Oh, no.
No, seriously, like, what this vodka, both these vodkas were, the water is really a key. In 1896, the Tsar of the Russian Empire built 3 vodka plants. And he built one in Moscow, one in Kiev, obviously because there's lots of people there. And he built one in this place called Stolichnaya, which is in the middle of freaking nowhere. And the reason he built it there was that the water was perfect for making vodka. And there's a particular taste and minerality to making the right vodka. So they literally located a whole town and a whole vodka plant around the water. And even to this day, they have a really sophisticated water filtration system that completely purifies the water without messing with the taste. And, we asked them about that, and they kind of looked at us like, I can tell you, but I'd have to kill you after that. And it's really brilliant what they're doing. And the water's really key. The last thing is filtration. And those 3 vodka plants I told you about, most vodka plants they look like under-the-counter, under-sink water purifiers kind of thing. And they're about the size of a water cooler, and there's probably 8 or 10 of those, and they run the vodka through that after they've mixed it with water. And that's the filtration. Before they do that, they have to puff some charcoal dust into it, because charcoal, believe it or not, is really important for making vodka. It's what gives it its flavor. It doesn't taste like charcoal, but it gives it its flavor. This vodka facility doesn't have those little tiny filters, and they don't use charcoal dust. Charcoal dust is kind of like cheating, like putting oak chips in wine. But no, this is like huge. I actually didn't even recognize them as filters. They're like as big around as this table, like 4 feet around and 2 stories tall, filled with 300 kilograms of charcoal. And they force the vodka up through these columns, strain it through quartz glass, then do it again through another one of these columns. Then they do that 3 more times. So the vodkas come into contact with 50 to 100 times more charcoal than ordinary vodka. So there's no need for the fooling it. So we'll do the last one, the Canadian vodka. Here, I'm going to put my mic down.
It's on the East Coast, is it not Newfoundlandic?
Yeah, it's from Newfoundland. Lord Tender and Jesus died.
Lord Tender and Jesus
And generally considered, like I would say, at the medium price point, a really nice, smooth, good product. One thing a lot of people don't know is that we were talking about the mash. This is actually made out of corn, not out of rye or wheat. So it's made actually Ontario corn. That's what they're using a grain. Pretty much, you can make vodka out of pretty much anything that contains sugar that will ferment into alcohol. Don't try this at home.
And know what this vodka is for? Those poor people out there that have gluten and celiac allergies, you can drink this vodka without having an allergic reaction. It's made with corn and not wheat or rye.
Yeah, actually, the same thing goes for potato vodkas. You can do that too.
Exactly.
And there's the only 2 potato vodkas I would recommend are actually the one I recommend completely is Zirkova. It's a Polish vodka. It comes in with a red label on it. It's brilliant, and it's reasonably priced. If you really want to blow the bank and go for the fancy bottle, kind of like going from Slava to a Goose, you can buy Chopin, which is also a brilliant vodka. It's made out of potatoes, but it's $45. So here we go. Now some Iceberg. So a lot of North American vodkas like Iceberg are designed like people thought that vodka was supposed to taste like nothing. It should have no flavor at all. So brands like Silent Sam, Polar Ice.
This one kind of has the rubbing alcohol scent.
Yeah, it's got a bit of the medicinal, probably because it's not 4 times and it's not center. But notice it's a different flavor too. Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
This makes me want to
It's got a sweetness, but it gives you a little bit of that fire.
Yeah, a little more burn, a lot more medicinal. And again, what you're experiencing here is, with Slava and Zirkova, what you had was that 4 times distilled center cut. None of the mouth burn, none of the.
That one's the only one that kind of like hit the bitter spots on the back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, but.
That's the bitter part.
Exactly, man, you could be like a wine writer. You just have to get out the thesaurus and figure out like raspberry hints and.
Listen, John, I've had 4 shots. My teeth are numb. What does that mean?
That's a good sign. It means that you're not allergic. Oh, you know, the cool thing about vodka, if you're drinking it straight the way we are, is you won't wake up the next day with a hangover. And I mean,
it's the sugar.
Damn, this guy knows shit.
Oh, yeah,
it's like, the sugar stuff is what's going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what makes the hangover. Actually, Mythbusters had a thing on about do you get less hungover by drinking just beer or beer and spirits? Okay. And they thought like mixing was a bad thing. They actually did this whole thing, and it turns out if you drank mostly spirits and a little bit of beer, you wake up feeling way better the next day than just beer. It was
is it because of the water?
It's just the amount of sugars in it. Like beer is loaded with sugar. I mean, I shouldn't talk because I freaking love beer. I mean, I drink. That's what I like to drink. But it's. But you know what? Oh, I sell beer too. So it's the sugars. Like beer is loaded with.
Of course.
You know, it's a whack, just a whack of sugars hit you. That's why, like, if you're on the South Beach diet, you can't do it. But yeah, vodka, you won't wake up with a hangover because it's so pure. And the more pure the vodka, like the heavy alcohols, the thing on the bottom that I was talking about, not the center cut, that's what gives you a hangover. That's the stuff that also, has all kinds of health implications. They talk about like colorectal cancer, stuff like that. It's like, so you're better off buying something that's a little bit better, and but you don't have to pay through the nose to do it. That was the whole point. We took the bullshit out of vodka with Zirkova and Slava. It was like, I always tell people, if you are paying more than $30 for a bottle of vodka, you are buying something other than vodka. We could not have spent more money on the liquid that goes into this. To give you an idea, Canadian whiskey or Irish whiskey is just vodka that's been aged in an oak barrel for like 5 years. So whiskey should cost more than vodka. It's just that simple because it takes more to do it. Vodka's done. When it's finished, when you make it and you put it in a bottle, it is ready to drink. Aging it for 100 years will make no difference at all. Doesn't make any difference. So that's why vodka should be inexpensive. It should be nice and smooth. It should be a great drink, but it shouldn't break your bank. It should be something you can just have fun with and not pay a lot of money for.
Okay. Now we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll be back and you're gonna make some cocktails.
More drinking.
All right.